James Cal Tustin, Twitter.com. The last three cars that I drive by, the drivers are texting. And it's like you're on the freeway and you have the phone. One thing, yes, I'm recording, but I'm recording these people in this car and this car, and the car behind me. They're just sitting there with their phones on their laps, texting while they're driving, and I think it's just lame. And the reason why I think it's lame is the people know what texting and driving can do, and they still don't care. And it's just lame. Like young people, like they think they know everything, and they just their opinions are like it's horrible. They have no opinions, and it's like nothing matters. So, like obviously nothing matters when you're texting and driving on the freeway. It's a little different on the road, maybe looking for navigation or pulling over. But on the freeway, it's just ridiculous. And I totally apologize for even complaining. But it was like three in a row. And I noticed it a lot. And there's really nothing that you could do about it unless you put an area in the car where the phones can go, like down in this area. And people would have to use their hands and buttons and push like that, instead of having their phones in the lap. It's just lame, especially like your friends and they're not that important, and you're not that important. And if you made a difference in the world, you'd have a press pass and be able to challenge some of the things that go on in the world or locally or nationally. But no one does. They're just weak. In three countries here, give or take, people like me who, when before Twitter, actually did the groundwork, and now we have a platform to work on. And it was because of people like me, James Cal Tustin, Jamestown, California, our sites of abilities to use media in positive ways, and now people are using it in not so positive ways, and I'm just appalled. I think it's despicable, and I think it's wrong. And I think this whole idea of the president trying to come and talk about what he's talking about, it's a little late, given the fact it's now your last few months in office before you have a new election. And you say things like, let's do business in Iran. You go visit Cuba, an all-time low point in U.S. history. And it's because there's no one in the media to challenge you. No one to say, hey, President Obama, you're wrong on this issue. All you do is exploit issues. And now what I'm starting to question are groups that put you in office now exploiting issues while other issues are going on. And some of these rallies, I'm just appalled of the news of not only internationally and your policy, specifically your Syria policy, and let's do business in Iran attitude, but our local policy, and now you're exploiting some of these crimes that have been occurring, and there's a lot of things like the X factor you're not bringing up, and you're trying to hit three stones with one brick is what you're doing, trying to have the issue of the Second Amendment, people's attitudes, when you're putting these kinds of drugs or in their bodies, and you want to commute drug dealers, and you say, well, let's give them a second chance. Well, what about the people that those people infected and ruined their families? Do they get a second chance? No, they don't. They don't get a second chance. And you want to give them a second chance. I understand giving certain people in the system second chances, but the way you went about it is just absolutely horrendous. And to come in to talk on national TV about any issue just shows that not only have you been untouched with reality, but your policies are driving all these wrongs. Two wrongs don't make a right. And because there's no journalists or no one to make a difference and question your not only your integrity, but just the all-time low points in U.S. history have to be the last 2 years of your foreign and domestic policy. The only reason why the economy is doing well is because people have creative ideas and they want to work. And now you want to go in there and put more Democrats in there to go tax and more taxes and more this choice and this choice. You forget about people's lives or pro-life movement. It doesn't matter. The babies in that situation, they don't matter because your policies are what's important, and other people's opinions don't matter, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or neither. The fact there's been no journalist in no party to question these horrendous policies just shows how weak of a journalism community that we have and we've had, especially since 2012, around the time when I stepped away. And I stepped away for 3 or 4 different reasons. Number one is how it affects your normal job when you have opinions that some people don't like or disagree with. Number two, people taking or ripping off your ideas. Number three, other people exploiting some of those ideas and turning them around and completely distorting or messing it up. Those are the main three. And then number three, the fact that you have your little groups that take all the information and get the credit for what information you give or provide people through the airwaves while there's other information missing. James Cal Tustin, Twitter.com.